This is the OM-3. This is a Micro Four Thirds camera by OM System, more traditionally known as Olympus. So I've been using this camera for the last couple of weeks, and here are some settings that I have set up for myself that are perfect for a hybrid shooter. I'm primarily a video shooter, but I also like to take photos. So all of these settings that I have are great for anybody who likes to do both, or if you want to quickly and easily switch from taking a very nice photo as well as switching into different video modes, then some of these settings would be useful for you. Although this is primarily a photography camera, in my opinion, it has some video modes that are worth considering and worth using as well. It also has an S&Q mode that can come in very handy. There are some shortcuts that I've set up that make my hybrid shooting process just a lot faster and smoother. And I believe some of these shortcuts would be very beneficial to you as well. So first of all, here is an overview of all the buttons. Over here, we have this computational photography button right here, and these settings, these dials at the top. This is the shutter button. There's a dial here, another dial, a function button, and a video recording button that you will see I did not use because it's sort of kind of awkward right there. On this side, we have the power button, the dial to change between photography, video, and S&Q mode. You can use this dial here to navigate these upper menus here like so, and the other dial right here you can use to navigate sub-menus under the menus. You can also do that with the left and right buttons as well, going up and down and all of that stuff. So first things first, go to the wrench submenu number 3, the third one where it says monitor, sound and connection. And I like to turn this beeping sound off. It gets kind of distracting and kind of annoying. So also every single time you want to know what a certain setting does, just go to info here and that will let you know what each setting does. Under the wrench menu, we'll go on to the next tab, and airplane mode, we want to turn that on. I feel like that sort of saves a lot of battery, so I want to have that on and just toggle it off if I need to transfer stuff to my phone. Next one, let's go back to submenu number 2. Under copyright, I like to have that on, and I include my name because might as well just put your name on everything that you take with this camera and copyright that. Next, we'll go into the settings and we'll go to submenu number 5, grid settings. And this is where you can select the type of grid you want. I find this to be very useful when it comes to composition and just composing your shot. I like to keep it as this one, the rule of thirds, where I have certain grids, but not too many that it just becomes super distracting. The grid settings for video will be off because I want them to be the same as photography. So I keep that as is. So now we'll move into the overall photo settings. Let's go to the basic settings, image quality. For photography, I only have one custom setting because I usually either shoot in RAW or in a custom picture profile recipe, if you want to call it that, for certain JPEGs. And I'll be sharing that in just a bit. Under image quality, I have it selected always as large, superfine, plus RAW. So this gives me a high quality JPEG as well as a RAW, which is what I want when I'm using a custom recipe, so that I can just get a JPEG that looks what I want it to look with that recipe, and also a RAW image that I can further tweak later on if I wanted to. Here you can go and see what the detail settings are. So for me, I just use the one large, super fine, and that's it. Image aspect, I leave as 4:3. I do not have image review on, but you can have it on if you wanted to. White balance, I usually have it as starting point around 5300 Kelvin in sunny mode, and I adjust according to wherever scene I'm shooting. ISO limit, I like to have the upper limit set to about 10,000 because even 10,000 I feel like I can get very noisy image. But everything over that will probably be too noisy. Next, under image stabilizer on the eighth submenu, I like to have it as auto, where the camera chooses the stabilizer setting by detecting the camera movement. I have image stabilizer as on, and also handheld assist as on. Moving to the next one, computation and modes. All of these are off because I can easily access them via the computational photography button. So for now, these ones are all off right there. Here, this is where I have selected my picture mode. This is a custom recipe that I'm using. I use color profile number 3, and I go to color vivid to adjust these things. +3 on this one, +5 on the red, +4 on the next one, +4 on the purple. The next purple is also +4, +3 on the next teal or blue. The next one is +3, +3 on the light blue, +2 on the next one, +1 on this sort of greenish one, +1 on this one, and all like that. Next, under the curve, I have set up my shadows to be at around -6, and then +2 on my highlights. You can click on info to access your mids, which I have set up as +1. Under shading effect, I have this as 0. Sharpness, lower the sharpness -1, and contrast -2. Keep in mind that these settings only apply to the JPEG. In terms of autofocus, I like to set mine as continuous autofocus. Most of the time, 95% of the time, I'm using that mode. So here I have subject detection set as humans. Again, I usually go into these depending on what I'm shooting, if I'm shooting any of these things, but human is my default. I have this set up to all to detect the entire area. Eye detection frame on. So for movie autofocus, I have it also set as continuous autofocus. Under autofocus speed, I have it as -1. I want it to be a little bit slower and hopefully a little bit smoother to make it just a tiny bit more cinematic and less jerky. Next, let's jump into menu number 7. Under manual focus assist, I like to keep that as on, peaking as on, focus indicator off. Peaking settings, I have mine set up to yellow. The intensity is high because if I'm using focus peaking, I want to know where I'm focusing. The cool thing here with this camera is that you can adjust the rotation of that focus ring. So depending on what other cameras you shoot in, this is a useful feature to have. We'll go into operations. Under button settings, we'll select the button functions for photography mode. Here you can see what all of these ones do. Under function, I have it set to the digital teleconverter mode. So I'm able to crop in up to 2 times in JPEG mode. This I keep as is, computational photography as is. This button I like to set to manual focus. So sometimes I like to quickly switch between autofocus and manual focus, and this allows me to do that. Everything else pretty much stays the same. This dial controls my aperture, and this one controls my shutter speed. The function button, +2, teleconverter, and this will toggle autofocus and manual focus. So once I have these settings, I like to save them back to custom mode, and I'll save them as custom mode number 1, which I have already named as vivid. So that means that if I change any settings, I can always revert to custom mode number 1 to access all of these photography settings. And the main thing is that I'm able to get those JPEGs along with the RAWs. A thing to keep in mind too is that you can always press the OK button here in the middle, and you access all of these settings that you can quickly adjust to. Also, if you are in any of these settings, you can press the function button to start it. So what that means is that the last menu here, you have my menu that includes all of the settings that you have starred, so you can access them quickly. Going to video, first thing is I'm going to select video codec here as H.265, which allows me to shoot in 10-bit. H.264 allows you to only shoot in 8-bit. So if you want a little bit more color and information, H.265 is the one to pick. Under video settings right here, I have this set up to Cinema 4K, which is a little bit taller than just 4K. So it's 4096. It gives me a little bit more room. So it's a 17:9 aspect ratio as opposed to a 16:9. I can always just crop in too if my final output is 16:9. This would be in long GOP. You can't change that anyway. Frame rate, I'd like to set this as 23.98 for cinematic video. And then next thing would be under picture mode. I'll go into this one right here, OM log 400. This will allow me to shoot in log, which I can later color grade and just extract all that data and color information from the video. If you wanted higher end video, this would be the one to use. View assist, I have that still on. My ISO upper and the default, the upper limit is 6400 ISO. I don't want it to be too high because it will be kind of noisy. Under default, the minimum is 400 because I'm shooting in log, and the minimum, the base ISO for this is 400. Under image stabilizer, I like to set it as this one, MIS2. So this is image stabilization performed only by the sensor shift and not digitally. So I find sometimes when I have the digital one on as well, I get some weird warping effect and maybe a little bit of a crop in. So I don't want that. I want just like a sensor stabilization and adjust my own stabilization if I need it when I'm editing the video. So under stabilization level, I have it as low so that it's smoother when I'm shooting video. This one is key. I like the red frame to be on when I'm recording video. I like the recording lamp to be low. I like the function button here actually to be set to my white balance, because I find that if I'm in video mode, I like to set my white balance more manually. So this button I select to manual focus, so I'm able to access that very quickly. Under AF on, I set this as my digital teleconverter. So if I wanted a little bit more of a crop in, I can do this up to 1.4 times. And those are my settings here on the camera. So when I'm adjusting my settings, one dial would be my aperture, one would be my shutter speed. The function button accesses my white balance. The AF on button toggles that teleconverter, and there's a button on the top here, my manual focus, autofocus switch. I can always again just click OK and quickly access other video settings as well. One that would be very handy is this one, which is the sound recording level, to make sure that I am not clipping my sound whenever I'm recording sound. So once that's done, want to go back into your video settings and under custom mode, save it to custom mode number 1. I have already set mine, which I have named Cinema 4K in 24p log, shooting in log. As you can tell here, I've set up 4 different video profiles. The second one that I've set up here is Cinema 4K 60p in log. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'll keep this in H.265. Under video, I go to this one, Cinema 4K, long GOP at 59.94 frames per second. The picture mode stays the same in OM log 400, and everything else stays the same. The only thing that changes is the frame rate in the video, and this is saved under my custom mode number 2. Custom profiles number 3 and 4 I have set here from the custom picture profiles that come with the OM-3. Under video codec, you can only use those in H.264. I have Cinema 4K in 24 frames per second, and under picture mode, I have it set as Cinema 1. So this is if you want to use the camera's built-in sort of graded look already straight out of the camera. I do not like it too much, but I like to have it set up just to play around with things. And so that is saved to custom mode number 3. Number 4 is the other picture profile, Cinema 2 by the camera. This way, when I'm shooting video, I can easily go from shooting in 24 frames per second to 60 frames per second to the OM Cinema 1 and OM Cinema 2. So now that all of these settings are set up, it makes it very easy for me to go from, for example, shooting a photo in photography mode in my custom mode 1 to just switching this to video mode, and I can right away shoot in 24 frames per second in OM log 400 and switch between the different other video modes that I would like to use. I do not use S&Q very much, so I do not have any custom settings set up for that. So that's it for this video. If you are into photography or filmmaking or just shooting videos in general, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more videos from me. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being here again. And before you leave, here are a couple more videos you could watch next, and I'll see you there.